We're going to show how to fix this part from a butterfly playback rollaway table. I hope you can see the crack that goes from here all the way to the top. If I pull it down this way and maybe put a little pressure on it, you can see how it opens up. That's because this is attached to a metal piece, and that metal piece sometimes has pressure put on it, twisting, and these things break very easily. The first step is going to be to seal this crack using some super glue. The gel is probably easier to control. You need to find a way to open up the crack, so put a brace on one side so you can apply a little pressure. So let's take a look where that crack is right there. So I'm going to try to apply a little pressure on this side to open it up, push down, and then I'm going to put the super glue in there. Let's see. I'm using the gel, which makes it a little easier to control than the liquid. And if it's a little bit more than it needs, that's not a problem, as long as it got inside. And if you'd like, you can check the back side and see if you'd like to put any on the back. I could see that mine came through. If you can see that here. Maybe a little difficult to see, but as you can see that there's just a line going right in here to the light along, so we know that that glue went. And if you're not sure, just put a little bit more on the inside, and then you want to make sure that that plastic stays in exactly the right position. And this one, the way it broke, I don't have to hold it with anything. The last one I did, I had to clamp it because it wouldn't stay closed by itself. So let's let that dry for a little while. It's a little bit dry now, but still wet, and I'm going to wipe off some of the excess glue that's on the outside. It'll make it look a little bit nicer when we remount it. Super glue is generally dry in about 15 minutes. But if you're not in any rush, just let it dry overnight and finish the job the next day. So I've given it plenty of drying time. It's the next day right now. And if you take a look, you see how that's all nicely sealed in. The two pieces are together. And if you look at the other side, you would also see that there's no way for any liquid plastic to get through, because we're going to pour liquid plastic in there. So this item here, the reason it breaks is because the plastic is so thin. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill these empty areas with a hard epoxy, and putting a layer from here all the way through, and that layer is going to prevent this from breaking, because it's going to triple, quadruple, even make the strength 10 times as much. Sometimes this area picks up a lot of dust, and before you're going to put any epoxy liquid in there, you want to make sure this is absolutely clean. This one had no dust. I had no problem with it. Other ones you might want to clean out with a brush and then a cotton swab with a little alcohol on it. Get it nice and clean so that the new plastic adheres to the old plastic. The next item you're going to need is an epoxy product of some kind. This is a Blick product called Smoothcast 300. There are many different products on the market. Use any one of them that hardens to a nice hard plastic. So these things, you got to shake them, have to shake them really well, then you use equal parts. So I usually get 2 cups like this and put equal parts in there. So now that you have equal parts, You just pour one into the other. I like to pour the thick one into the thin one. And you're going to stir it for a while. Stir however long the product you're using asks you to stir. Make sure it's completely mixed so the two components are completely in contact with each other. Now you're going to pour into each of the different areas. And if you have some left over, you're probably going to want to put it over on this side to make it even stronger. Like this, and maybe also on this side. These parts aren't as necessary, but if you don't want to ever have to fix this again, you want to kind of make it the maximum strength that you can. That's going to take a while to cure. This takes 10, maybe 15 minutes. It depends on what product you buy. And during this time, this is going to turn from a clear color to a white. So we'll come back and take a look at this after it has solidified. You can see now that the epoxy has completely polymerized, making a nice hard plastic surface, and that thickness of this has got to be about 7 to 10 times as thick as the original, and that would make the strength 7 to 10 times as strong as well. Other types of epoxies may turn a different color. Now please notice that we didn't get any epoxy inside here. You don't want to do that, or that'll make remounting this much more difficult. So once you've made this much stronger, you can then mount it back onto your butterfly playback rollaway table, and you'll have a much stronger part, and I doubt if you'll need to repair this one again.